Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats for the Vobes show. We're counting down from a number which we've not yet thought of. Join in with this crazy show. Call in, make a comment. Have a rant, shake your fist, disagree. We don't mind if you disagree with our presenter. He's a fruitcake anyway. Please prepare yourself for the Vobes show. Yes, it's the Vobes show. And good evening and welcome to another exciting Vobes show with me, Richard Vobes, on the 6th of September 2021 at 8 o'clock here in the UK. And you're very welcome to join me. No Julia, I'm afraid, this evening. Unfortunately, she was unable to get away and get over to the studio. She's looking after little Joe. And so it was just not possible. But hopefully she'll be here on Wednesday. So very much hope for that. So you just got me tonight, so I'm hoping that you'll just help me out on one of these shows by calling in and being part of the show as much as you can. Going to do something a little bit different this time, so that we have a different kind of show, a bit more relaxed, a bit more talkative, a bit more chatty, a bit more interaction. Hopefully, we do have some videos, very thanks to Mark Burgess and Sean James Cameron and the lovely Bernie. We're going to find out the mystery of Bernie's Zoom. Yes, I've heard of Bernard's watch, but what about Bernie's Zoom? We're going to find that out in today's show. We're also going to witness a couple of passing trains on the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch, which should be quite fun, and we'll be strolling along on the London Loop. All that to come in the Vobes show this evening. But of course, the show would be nothing without your very good selves. We've got the lovely Julia in the chat room and the lovely Judith making sure that everything is all moderated and that we're all just nice and relaxed and taking it easy. And I hope you are. It's been a hot day down here in jolly old Sussex, so kick back and just relax for the next hour and a half. But be handy by your phone or indeed on the chat thing, and we'll try and get through the next hour and a half as laid back and relaxed as we can without getting, hopefully, too agitated. Although you know how easily I can get agitated when the passion rises. Indeed. And also, of course, we're very grateful to yourselves for coming along and being part of the show. If you enjoy the show at any point, if there is any moment while watching the show and you think, do you know what, I have not subscribed to this rubbish, I ought to, so I get notified. Don't forget then to press the subscribe button and indeed the bell notification. And if you've done all of that, hopefully you will be notified every time we pop up. But better, give us a thumbs up on the thumbs up thing, because this is only live on YouTube. We don't go to any other platform. You can't find this anywhere else. Thank God for that, you say. I know exactly what you feel. At least you can turn it off if you're not the slightest interested, which is mostly what the rest of the population have done, bar you lot. But I'm very thankful that you lot have found it in your wisdom to keep me company on this Monday evening. And I hope you're doing well. So let's first of all, before we kick off and do anything else, let's find out who we've got in the Vobesphere and just say a nice hello to you. So Julia has popped in right at the beginning, followed by Daniel Watkins, which is lovely to see you. Judith is there with her big spanner, which is nice. Anna Jones, hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've all, by the way, had a lovely weekend. Kerry Baldwin, Mark Burgess is also out there. Paul Cockrell, Alison O'Brien, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in. Station Master's Choice says he's quite tired tonight. Been out filming early Saturday and today, plus working at the railway yesterday. But the Three Rivers of Rye project has now all been filmed and will trickle out in due course. I like the pun of it trickling out. Let's hope that the Three Rivers flow a little bit more than a trickle. Mind you, in this weather that we have been having, you could forgive that it may have all evaporated. However, we haven't had a lot of sunshine this year, so maybe it's still a torrent. Audrey Forbes is out there. Hello to you. Lovely to see you. Joanna Jones. Hello, evening Vobesters. I'm just going to scratch my hip here. I noticed that Joanna Jones made a very nice comment, thank you very much, on the Bald Explorer walks on the Wiltshire stuff, which is now wound up and finished. If you've watched the series and have enjoyed it, all I can say is thank you. It's had some very interesting comments about the new format, and I very much appreciate that. On the whole, mostly everybody's enjoyed it. I know some people would like the little 10-minute walks, and I'm toying up with ideas of maybe doing that, or even shorter 5-minute vlogs while I work on a longer format. I'm not quite sure, just to fill in those days, in case you miss me, you understand. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you've got better things to do with your lives than to watch me. However, Andy the Collector has popped in. Hello, nice to see you. Very good of you to come in. The Vintage News, good evening, and here is the BBC Home Service, or in my case, the VBC Vobes service. Daniel Watkins, I've already said, Audrey Forbes, of course, and we have a few more people like Rob Flashgit. Interesting name. Nice to see you. I hope I got that right. He says, here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello to you. Patrick Brooks, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. And Trev's Travels by Trawler. Sorry, Narrowboat. Trawler, obviously, is a nice alliteration, but Narrowboat is much more fun, and it's great to see you. Trev, where are you? He says, oh, hello, I'm from Market Drayton. Market Drayton, are you on the Shroppie, then, the Shropshire Union Canal? Am I right in thinking that that goes through Market Drayton? I must get back up. I was hoping to get up to Shropshire. I must get up. I know Harriet would like me to stay and see little Lola. And I know that there's some other people up in that neck of the woods it would be great to see. And it would be lovely, Trev, to come, if I'm up in that area, and come and visit you and have a look at your boat and feature you in one of my nonsense films. That would be fun, wouldn't it? If that's permissible, of course. John F., hello to you. Lovely to see you. Clive Waterfall, very nice to see you. He says, hello. Veg Grower Podcast, morning, he says. Lovely. I had a lovely day with Mr. Suggett from the Veg Grower Podcast yesterday. We've made a film. I've edited it up. It looks rather jolly, of the Bald Explorer walk that is coming up on the 26th of September. Lovely Lovely walk, actually. Richard found this beautiful walk online. We've slightly adapted it, I think, in trying to work out where it was. You'll enjoy the video, which shows us sort of making it up as we go along a bit. But we now have a route, and with any luck, we will be able to guide everybody who comes along. We've organised the parking, we've got the catering sorted out, there will be a dance band. Excuse me. We're going to have microlight excursions around the car park. There's snorkeling, bog snorkeling actually, in some of the... No, wait a minute. I think that's a different walk. Oh, yes, that one had to be cancelled. No, this is just strolling across the countryside, enjoying the landscape, the heritage, and the nature of animals, including some cows, but we've discovered that they're very friendly cows, and also some donkeys or small horses. A little bit overweight, we discovered, and a jolly old farmer who we met. All that's encapsulated in the video, which will be coming out fairly soon, probably on Thursday. Tuesday, tomorrow, is the bank holiday video that I did with the lovely Julia, where we go round Fareham and had a little look at some of the places round there. And then Thursday will be the Bald Explorer Walk video, which is a bit shorter in length than the recent ones. I think it's about 15 minutes because I couldn't really wing it out any longer without it dragging on. So it's a nice short one for you. You'll be pleased with that. Davey Vad is out there. Rich M, Conehead, hello to you. Jeff and Mandy, lovely to see you. Thank you for coming by. Sean James Cameron, who says it's too hot for me. Planning a work from home day tomorrow. Yes, I had a bit of a work at home day today. I was just editing, doing voiceovers and all of that. And Linda Kane, she says, watching from deepest, darkest Dorset. Oh, hello, Linda Kane, down there in Dorset. Clearly, she's gone down to get some new leathers. I know that they do a lot of interesting shops down in Dorset, so we look forward to the results of that. And Clive Waterfall, I've already said, but he is saying the weather has been a lot better than it was expected. We've had a miserable summer, so we've got to take advantage of every sunny day. Ray of Hope says very warm days in sunny Horsham. Yes, and I'm sure in your lovely garden it must be absolutely delightful to sit back in an armchair with a little Pimm's or whatever it is and watch the wooden tops getting up to all sorts of mischief on your mantelpiece, or windowsill. Actually, do you remember the wooden tops? Wasn't that a jolly old thing? I don't know whether it really was. Our memories of childhood television programs, you think, oh, they were really, really good, and then you take a look at some of them and you think, really, is that what they managed to get away with? And sometimes a lot of these memories are best as memories because you think they're far, far better than they were. But maybe the wooden tops and Spotty Dog was as marvellous as I seem to think it was. I don't think I've seen it. I may have seen clips of it, and I dare say it's on YouTube. Yes. The Veg Grower podcast remind me that we do stroll past a retirement village, which is very nice, a beautiful landscaped retirement village with a farm on it. Which is nice. Lisa L, good evening. Beautiful sunset tonight. I haven't seen the sunset. I've been in here preparing, as you can imagine, great lengths of time preparing, i.e. I switch the computer on, turn the lights on, and away we go. But all that necessary 5 seconds of preparation meant that I missed the sunset. It really did. Linda Kane says, sat out in the garden with salmon, salad and wine. Oh, marvellous. I'm afraid I don't eat fish, so the salmon's wasted on me, and I don't really drink alcohol, so the wine is wasted on me too. I'm a bit of a boring old person to have round, really. Station Master's Choice says, the wooden tops. What have we got for dinner today? Nothing for you but sawdust and hay. Is that what they said? Is that one of their lines from the TV show? I can't really remember it. Kerry Baldwin, hello to you. Nice to see you. She says, I loved the wooden tops. They were great fun. And Jen Colley says, I'm off work this week. Thank you, weather. Oh, marvellous. Well, let's hope that we have some nice weather for you. I'm popping out for tea or coffee in the morning with a lovely lady called Lee Lawson, who does lots of bits of research and history. She's got a nice little garden, and she's invited the lovely Julia, little Joe, and myself round for a cup of coffee, which is nice. I popped round to see my son Billy, actually, this afternoon as well. And that was nice to see him, his new home and the various things they've done. He's been moving stuff about, and by goodness, it makes the place look posh, whereas I didn't really want to come back to my old place, but hey-ho, not to worry. Nigel Sadler is in. He says, hello, tonight you will be joining me as I process some black and white film. Blimey. Back in the days when you used to go into the dark room with one of those little plastic things, and you'd have to sort of get it onto the little windy thing, if that's what you're doing. I remember sort of winding it onto this, I forget what you call it, and then it would go into, I had various things. It would go into a little black pot, and you'd seal it up, and you would add in all the developing fluids, and away you go. It looks like we've got a phone call, so let's find out who that is on the phone and say a good hello to you. Hello, caller.
Hello, Richard. My daughter got in touch with you last week about doing a Kenneth Williams impression. You remember?
Oh, yes, I do. And who are you?
Trevor.
Trevor
Upton.
Trevor Upton.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, Trevor.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah. No, very well, thank you.
There was a few others I could mention you could do, but I don't know whether you can do them or not.
I don't know whether you could give them a whirl. I have no idea.
Frankie Howard, Tommy Cooper.
No, stop. No.
Larry Grayson.
Shut that door.
Yeah. Who else is... Dick Emery.
Oh, you are awful, but I like you. I got it wrong again, Dad.
Yeah, that's it.
I used to love those characters with who was the Roy Kinnear? Roy Kinnear as the father, and Dick Emery, and when he used to do the vicar with his teeth.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's hilarious stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed your walk around Wiltshire.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was great. I thought the second village was better than the first.
Right.
You know,
we went to Chippenham, which was more of a town, and then we went to the lovely Corsham, which was deserted, and there was nobody there.
This was Cock something.
Oh, Laycock.
Yeah, Laycock.
That's right. The birthplace of photography, so they say.
Yeah, that looked more interesting to me.
Yeah.
It didn't look more like a film set. You know what I mean?
No, except that it's been used multiple times.
Yes.
But somebody... Sorry, go on.
Have you been to Broadway?
No.
That is better. I think that's the best one of all.
And that's in Wiltshire, is it?
Worcestershire.
Oh, Worcestershire, Broadway.
Yeah, Worcestershire.
Yeah, because you're not talking about American Broadway, are you?
Oh, no. I can recommend that.
Broadway in Worcestershire.
In Worcestershire.
Yeah, okay. That's on the way up to Shropshire, so it's sort of north. Yeah. It's south west of Birmingham.
You got the railway running there now from private line from Cheltenham to Broadway. It's a private line, you know.
Yeah, like a heritage. Was it like a heritage railway?
Yeah, heritage steam line.
Yes, and we like those. I haven't done many of those. I need to do some more. I did one with my son Billy down in near Somerset. It was like the Somerset Railway, I think. Somerset. It was near the Cheddar Gorge, and that was lovely. It was only a short 5 miles little line, but I like the smaller ones. The things like the Bluebell are a bit too big for me.
Have you been on the Watercress line? That's a bit...
no, I haven't actually.
That's another worth a visit. That's 10 miles.
Oh, right, okay.
From, what is it? It goes to... it stops just near... I can't think of the name now. But it's 10 miles along.
Yeah, 10 miles along.
That's worth a trip.
And what kind of trains are they sort of relatively smallish trains?
No, the big ones are the steam.
No. What I mean, when I say that, I mean not like we saw one. What was it? It was called the Battle of Britain, and it was a great big engine. But whereas I like these ones with these little tank engines that chuff along.
Oh, you mean the miniature ones?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
no.
know.
They're full size, but they're like
Yeah,
Thomas the Tank Engine, but full.
yeah.
Like small engines, as
Mm,
opposed to these great big ones, which seem less
yeah,
characterful.
yeah. On your thoughts, have you thought any more about narrowboat?
Well, I think that we're going to plan to go on a narrow boat next year, unless we have this dreadful lockdown situation that prevents people from
Yeah,
going abroad. And we need to really ask Trevor because he's on the narrow boats.
yeah.
It
What?
would be lovely to do that again, but I don't want to go if
Mm,
they're rammed with people.
no, no. I meant if you were going to buy one, did you think of that?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
what went through my mind is buying one, living on it for a year, and
yeah,
then selling it.
yeah. Well, I've had one since 1993.
Have you?
Yes, and the two things come to mind. That's pit and money.
Right.
You
Okay.
know what I mean? Yeah,
Yes. I mean, this
yeah,
is what they do say.
yeah.
When we ventured the idea, everybody said don't do it because it is a money pit and you will
Yeah,
lose a fortune. So I thought if one bought a relatively okay one,
yeah,
lived on it for a year, took it up and down around the canals, made
yeah,
videos,
yeah,
enhanced the profile of the boat, then
yeah,
sold it, and because it would be a famous boat,
yeah.
we might be able to bump the price up.
You could do. You could do.
You don't sound
But
very convinced.
not really, not on
No.
that. No.
No,
Well,
all
so
right.
we've had our one all these years, but there's always something to do. It's like having a second house, really.
Yes.
You know, there's always something to, and you're not near a canal, are you?
No.
No, that's the problem. You
Well,
always
that's
got to,
that's why I thought having it, living on it, saying right, okay, shut up my house,
yeah,
possibly have a lodger in there or a housekeeper or something who would be
yeah,
paying you something to live here. Maybe one of
yeah,
these Afghan immigrants. They would be very,
yeah,
ones with these suicide vests. They'd be very welcome because they could do a bit of private bomb making. As long as they make videos about it and a bit of income, it'll be all right.
yeah,
A-
yeah,
And
yeah,
then, of course, I'm joking, just in case anyone took me seriously, because people
yeah,
do.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
I thought, well, if I live on it, I would just, maintain the boat, and then I
yeah.
would get rid of the thing as a hot potato. Because I'm sure that a boat generally would hold its value, wouldn't it, over a year?
Yeah. So it depends how old it is, to
Yes.
start
Well,
with.
I'm not talking about buying one with a hole in the bottom. I'm talking about
No, no.
buying one that's, I don't know what the price would be, but whatever it is, you buy it, you know that you're not going to lose that money because you're going to sell it a year
Yeah,
on. And they're
yeah,
very
yeah.
popular at the moment. Everybody wants to live on a canal boat, so surely it's going to maintain the value, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know really. It's a bit much in the winter though, especially get
Yeah,
a
well,
severe winter.
I wouldn't sell it in the winter. I would be selling it in the spring, so that people go, "Oh, we buy it for the summer. We'll have it. It'll be nice." Oh no, stop making
Yeah,
it about
yeah,
matron.
yeah,
And then because you make all the videos, and instead of doing what all these other people do, where they say, "Oh, there's all these things. I had to fix this and I had to fix that." I wouldn't. I would show no problems. This one would be superb all the time. I wouldn't show any of the
yeah.
problems, so that everyone goes, "Oh, it's a charmed boat."
Have to be a fairly new one then,
Yeah. Well, that
because
might be.
the new ones go wrong as well.
Yeah. The trouble is, though, you see, I'd want one with character. I'd want one that
Oh,
has got the old putt engine. The old
oh
traditional
yeah,
putt
yeah,
engine that
yeah.
throbs in the boat.
Trouble is they got no power. That's the trouble.
Oh,
You come to any fast flowing river and it's
and you've had
useless.
it. Well, I wouldn't go
Yeah,
on the
you had
river.
it.
We went on the Thames on the last
Yeah,
one, and it
yeah.
flooded. I wouldn't go on a river again.
No,
I'd be
no,
too scared.
no. Oh, I've been on the Thames up to Lechlade.
Oh
That
yeah,
wasn't too bad, and that wasn't too bad at all.
Lechlade
You
is
know,
lovely, isn't it?
yes,
In the
that's the sort.
Cotswolds.
Yeah, that's the start of the Thames.
Oh, is
You
it?
know, yes. You can go a bit further in a rowing boat because it's not deep enough for a narrow boat.
Is
You
that
know.
the one in the? Is that the one in the Cotswolds, Lechlade?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. There's Lechlade and Cricklade. That's
Ah.
after it,
Oh right. I
and
hope it
there I
catches
think
it.
it's it's just a stream there.
Yeah. Oh right. Oh okay.
That's, mm.
That's interesting. So, do you live on your boat then?
No, no, oh no,
Oh
no.
no. Oh.
It's,
Oh no.
we used to spend lots of time on it though.
Yes.
Going down to Guildford for the weekend or week or
So
whatever.
where do you store it? Is it on the River Way?
We're away at Wisley Gardens.
Wisley Gardens? Yeah, vaguely.
The A3.
Yeah.
The A3. It's along there.
Oh, is it? Oh, so that's not too far away then?
No, well, I live in Horsell near Woking, so it doesn't take long to get there.
Oh,
that's the beauty of it.
Horsell's very nice. Horsell Common. I made a video there about the Martians in H.G. Wells. Yeah. He had them land, didn't he? On Horsell Common.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So how often do you go on your narrow boat?
Well, I'm working on it at the moment, painting the sides.
Oh, yeah.
It got a bit hot this afternoon for painting.
So you just paint? How do you paint the side? You don't. Presumably, it's still in water, is it, or is it out of water?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's against the bank.
I see.
Bank side. In the marina, you can moor it up against the side and do what you want.
Ah, right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, how long is it?
40 foot.
So it's a nice, manageable, smallish, nice, manageable length.
Yeah, well, if you have them over that, you can't turn round in a lot of these places.
Yeah, we found that when we had our 72-foot thing.
Yeah, I saw that. They're a bit difficult to...
Yeah, telling me, poor old Julia, I said, turn it round, love. And she said, what? I said, I'll just be having champagne whilst you do it.
Especially when it's windy.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah, because it's going to hit that broad side, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Going back to your carry-on thing you did the other week.
Yes.
You missed out Peter Butterworth.
Oh yes. Oh, Peter Butterworth. Yes, he was brilliant. And in Carry On Up the Khyber, he was terrific, wasn't he? He was like so worried about everything.
And Carry On Abroad.
Oh yes, that's right.
Els Bells, was it? Els Bells.
Els Bells.
And it was really Camber Sands.
Oh, was it? Camber Sands where he went?
Well, I think it was Camber Sands.
Peter Butterworth, it was a brilliant... Again, he's one of those actors who does certain little ticks where he just... When you want somebody to look nervous, he does it so brilliantly.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll better leave you to it then,
all right.
Richard.
Well, it's been
great talking to you.
Yeah, thanks so much for calling in.
Yeah, okay then.
And call in again.
Yeah, I will indeed.
Yeah, brilliant. What was your name? Sorry, I didn't write it down.
Trevor,
that's right. Trevor,
Upton.
Trevor Upton. Sorry, Trevor, I do remember.
All right.
Took me on the spot. Trevor, it's been a joy.
All right. All the best.
Take care.
All the best. Yeah, and you. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. There we go. That was lovely Trevor Upton. Wasn't he? He's a character, isn't he? You can tell he's a character. I've got to go up. Trevor, if you're back with us when you sort of catch up, it'd be lovely to go and meet you and have a look at your boat. And then when you've got it in water, take a little trip. Oh, I am such a scumbag, really. It's like hitching on the canals. Now, that would be an interesting video, wouldn't it? If one could get all the canal people who make videos or people who watch videos on YouTube on the canals together, and one could hitch. Now, that would really make a good video. And you hitch around the canals, and these guys put you up. Even if you took with you a tent, because they may not have room to put you down, to put you up in the thing. But if you had a tent so that you could actually at least sleep on the towpath or something, I don't know how possible that would be, but it would make a great adventure. Do that for a week, see how far you could get, and film it all. And you would borrow everybody's electricity. You'd have a bit of a shower in some places, wherever you could do it. Obviously, you could probably wash in the canal. Perhaps that's not a good idea, but that would be interesting, wasn't it? And you could just trace wherever you could get to. You get to a certain lock. You might have to hang around for a day until the next one comes. But I wonder if it's possible if you can hitch on the canal system. Somebody will find out. Let's have a look at some of the comments that have come in. But before we do that, I just wanted to have a quick look here. I've just got it up. Broadway in Worcestershire. Here it is. This is on Google Images, of course, Google Street View, up in the Cotswolds. We get a quick idea of what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Down the high street there, there's a nice looking pub. Oh, look at that. Looks like a hotel. What's that called? Something Tudor? No, can't read it. Can you read that? Maybe you can read it better than I. I can't see what that says, but anyway, there it is. Lovely looking place. What if I take a step back there and then zoom in on the... Oh, it's a bit far away now. But anyway, what a lovely looking, charming place with sort of medieval and Georgian architecture in this wonderful high street. Shame about the cars, but never mind. At least there's parking for my van. We'll have to go and investigate. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. So let's... Oh, hang on. Get back out of that. Beg your pardon. Let's just have a look at some of the comments, because you've been commenting whilst I've been nattering, which is great to see. So, first of all, we were talking about the railway, and Station Master's Choice did actually remind me, it's some way back now, that it was the Somerset... I've lost it now. The Somerset Railway. East Somerset Railway, was it? Yes, East Somerset Railway. Thank you, Bernie, for that. Much appreciated. Mark Burgess says you would love the Lavender line when it's in steam. Certainly would. I must go and do some steam trains, because that's another niche that people love to watch, isn't it? One's just got to go and get on all these niches, I think. Anyone heard of the Kent and East Sussex Railway? Is that the one that you're on? Is that the one that you do, Station Master's Choice? It would be great to come down and meet up with you when you're doing your volunteering and have a look at what you do and your responsibilities, and then get on a train and go somewhere and come back. Is that possible? Can we arrange that? I can stay over, sleep in the van, and we could do that for a day. It'd be lovely. In this longer format that I'm doing, these sort of things become a lot more possible, and I think they'd be much more interesting to the audience, which would be great. Sean Buttermer has arrived. Hello to you, Sean. Nice to see you. And Judith is saying, yes, Bernie, I've heard of it. That is the Eastern whatever railway it was he just said. Let's have a look. Station Master's Choice says, yeah, it's my railway. That's what I thought. So, Bernie, we should try and liaise something like that. It'd be lovely to do something before the... does the railway close down at any time during the winter? It would be great to do that before it's shut down, definitely. Sean says, get a narrowboat. Your videos will explode with views. It's the next step for you from land to water. Well, that's what I thought. I thought a year on a narrowboat would be an interesting theme. I wouldn't want to buy it and keep it permanently, and I wouldn't want to buy one, to be honest, and leave it in a marina. But I could just say, right, I'm going to buy it in September, not this September, maybe next September, and live on it for a year. It would make a fascinating series, and at the end of it, sell the boat at a premium, because you've sold, it's become a famous thing. Surely that must put 10% on the value, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know whether Fran and Rich managed to sell their boat at a slight premium because it had been in all their videos. I'd be surprised if that didn't make a difference, but maybe it doesn't. Colonel Cragratty, hello to you. It's nice to see you. Thanks for joining us this evening. We've got lots of other comments here. Is a double-decker bus conversion still out of the question? I'm not sure that I could get a license to drive a double-decker bus with one eye. I'm not sure. It would be lovely to have a double-decker bus. Absolutely agree with you. It would be charming. Rather than, a transit van. I love the van. It's great as a camp-in van. And I love it. It drives beautifully and it's useful and all the rest of it. But it isn't characterful. I mean, let's be fair. It isn't characterful. It is a stealth vehicle. A double-decker bus would be characterful, probably continually break down, be far too expensive to actually put diesel in it, probably would fail on all the emissions and things, and you'd be limited on where you could go. But apart from that, it would be fantastic. And again, wouldn't it be great to buy a double-decker bus, do up absolutely the minimum requirements to live in it, drive it around for, say, 6 months, a summer, do the Cliff Richard, we're going on a summer holiday, and then at the end of it, sell it, get the money back. Because then if you could prove that that worked, you're borrowing the money for the asset, you're making the videos, you're selling the asset. Even if you only get back what you paid for, you've got all those videos and the revenue and the interest and the fun from it. That, to me, makes sort of perfect sense. Rachel TS, she's there. Hello, she says, that sounds like a great idea. I'm not quite sure which idea it is, but hopefully it's one of those I've been talking about. Sean Buttermer says they all hate each other. What, the narrowboaters? The hitchhiking, I think, is a terrific idea, but I don't know how practical that is. Michael White says, become a Canal pirate. Change the channel name to the Jolly Roger, the Jolly Vobes Roger. That would be quite good. And the Veg Grower podcast says the Lygon. I'm not quite sure what he means by that. Burton on Water is another lovely place. The river runs through the middle of the town. Oh yeah, is that Burton on Water where almost, but not quite, the birthplace of real ale, if you know what I mean? Is that the same Burton, or is that a different one? Oh, the Lygon Arms, says Jude. Oh, that was the name of the pub. Thank you very much. Sorry, Richard Suggett. I didn't know what you were talking about. You know what it's like when you've got to use your brain. You know what it's like. He knows what it's like. Because Richard does, by the way, if you don't know, the Veg Grower podcast does a marvellous live show from his podding shed in his back garden, live every Sunday at 6 o'clock on YouTube and on Facebook, about anything to do with gardening and in particular growing vegetables. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to grow vegetables, or you just want some advice, or you just want to hang out with some good dudes, check out his podcast and his live show. Station Master's Choice said something, but the thing just jumped. We are running on less days now, he says. Oh, that's a shame. He says, yes, Richard, it's my line, and perhaps next year we can fix something up. Oh, it's a shame it's next year, but never mind. We'll try and do something next year then. Trev Travels by Narrowboat says the Churnet Valley Railway run a bright green tank engine. I think it was a tank engine, but then I'm no expert. That's the ones I like. Sean Buttermer says, 72 watching, but only 36 likes. Smash the like button, folks. Smash that like button. That would be very handy. And Alan Sandale says, working on the boat would be another project. The thing that I'm very wary about, having made the videos on just doing up the van, is, and somebody suggested, I think it was Sean James Cameron, said, oh, why don't you make videos about doing up the house? And I said, there is enough effort moving the camera and getting all the multitude of shots that I like when I put my stuff together. And if you have ever watched any of my longer format stuff, I like to cut the camera quite a lot and get different shots from here. I don't overly like these very long shots if I can avoid it, because I try to make it more televisual than YouTube-y, if you like. And just doing that alone is hard enough work. And then to actually do something like convert the van into a camper van, it just makes, it makes the task really long. Going on a walk is 2 or 3 times longer than the walk is time-wise than you would ever do the walk. You ask Richard, when he and I go out, like we did the other day, it takes a long time because you're trying to get, right, I need a shot from here. Hang on a minute, can we just do that a bit again? That's great. Let's go over there. I want to get this shot. Now I'm sending up the drone. You'll see the drone is starting to be utilized more. Now I've renewed my license. And all these things. So actually, chopping things and bolting things up and fiddling with the cameras and then editing all of this. I want to be able to do something where I haven't actually got to build anything, because that's just... I'm not very practical. Alan Sandale says, working on the boat... Well, yes, I've read that. Thank you very much. Audrey Forbes says, Richard could park it on the back of that woman's house. Yes. But actually, what one could do, I wonder if this is possible, if you're able to get an inflatable... Just suddenly thought, Audrey Forbes, you've given me an idea. What if I was to get an inflatable boat that was about 8 foot long, 6 to 8 foot long, with a cover, so that what you do is you tow it on the back of a canal boat some distance, so they pull you along. So, Trevor, tell me if this is possible to do. So you would tow a boat So I wouldn't need an independent license or anything, because I would basically be freeloading off you. You'd be towing me. But at night time, I could sleep in that still on the bank, not in the middle of the, thingy. But that could be tied and moored up. Then I'd be a bit safer than sleeping on the towpath. So you would just buy this thing and put a little canvas thing on it, or even a rowing boat that you make into a tiny little houseboat that is towed along. Would that be possible? Is that a harebrained scheme? It would be fascinating, wouldn't it? And then, whilst I'm waiting for the next lift, and I wonder if one could just do it like hitchhiking, you would row as much as you can. So, okay, I might need to get a little license and what have you. So you could do that. That would be part of the money, part of the business expense. And then you row with this thing. I wonder if I could build my own boat and then float it. Do you think that's possible? That would be a lovely project, wouldn't it? Now, again, I wouldn't mind doing that if you had somewhere to build it, then test it. Of course, I would use marine ply, because I know that everybody's moaned about it. And you basically build a little houseboat of about, say, 10 foot long, which then you put everything inside and you get a license for it. And you hitch rides on the back of canal boats. Trevor, I don't know whether you've got a phone, but it would be fantastic to describe, to have a chat. I don't know what's possible and what's not, but I'm up for doing something a bit harebrained, and that sounds very harebrained, doesn't it? And then you go along. You can have like the bald explorer on the side of it, get a bit of publicity as you go. Lord Jeffrey says the Richard Vobes summer holiday. That would be great. Station Master's Choice says I'll email you an idea about the visit. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to catch up rather. The Veg Grower Pod said 20-minute tasks takes 4 hours when Richard films. Yes, it's absolutely true. Clive Waterfall says something to Station Master's Choice. Your filming seems seamless, says Simon. Thank you very much. That is the task of it, although, of course, it's not seamless when you're actually putting it together. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
It's Trevor.
Hello, Trevor. Trevor, what do you think of this harebrained idea?
Second Trevor, of course,
Yes, second Trevor of the night. 2 Trevs in one night. How is that? That's absolutely fantastic.
There's certain rules and regulations, of course, about what you can tow and what you need a license for.
Right.
If it's over 10 foot long, it then classes as a butty, and you need a license for it.
Right.
I believe if it's under 10 foot long, it's classed as a tender as long as it doesn't have an engine.
Right.
And then it can come under my license.
Oh, right. So there we are. That's it. So make it less than 10 foot, so 9'6".
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Can I put an enclosure and sleep on it?
Yeah, I don't believe there's particularly many more regulations than that.
Right.
It just has to be under 10 foot long. I don't know the full ins and outs of it.
No.
But I do know people that tow boats behind them that they use as like small workshops and things like that. Some of the traders.
Yes.
And so it's enclosed obviously as a workshop.
Yes.
So then they don't pay any extra for it because it's classed as a tender.
Oh, that's really interesting. So, I mean, presumably I couldn't make something like that because I'm not actually very practical. Colonel Cragratty will tell you that. But I could buy a rowing boat, or a largish rowing boat, or a dinghy of some description and put some sort of canvas, put a wooden structure on it with a canvas top on it so that I could sleep on the inside.
And that would obviously work.
And then I can just sell the boat. If I bought this boat, whatever that cost, we take that as a business expense. Then you build something which isn't going to damage it, and then you sell it again at the end of it, and hopefully you haven't lost too much.
Yeah, the thing being is, if you had bought a narrowboat 2 years ago, you could have sold it for a fortune at the moment because their price of steel's through the roof and they're going for stupid money.
Are they?
But yeah, I know people are selling boats like twice what they're really worth, but there's a supply and demand,
Well, that's the thing, and that's why I thought that they would at least hold their value, if not increase.
Yeah, I got offered stupid money for my boat the other week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't. If
you sell it, no, you've got nowhere to go.
I've got nowhere to live.
No, I know a little 9'6" tiny little little thing that's coming on the market. With a canvas top. I don't know if that interests you.
Yeah, I might pass
Might
on
pass
that one.
on that one. Oh, well, it's so fascinating to know that that's possible. Now, somebody said, I think it was Sean Buttermer, said that the narrowboat community, they hate each other. Is that true?
That is absolute rubbish.
It's rubbish. Good.
Absolutely. The narrowboat community, as far as I know, and I'm talking about the vloggers here.
Yes.
If you're talking about the people that vlog,
Yeah.
Every single vlogger I've met, we've always got on very, very well.
Right. Now, what do you think about the idea of hitchhiking around the circuit?
It's getting to know enough people that would be willing to do it, isn't it? Up front, really.
Yes. I mean, it might
think
take. It would probably take, say, a year to organise, because you'd get in touch with people and they'd have to, trust me and know what it was. So at least I've got a profile. They could go, oh, we can see what he does. He's been doing it for a while. He's not a weirdo and he's going to murder us in the night. And then they either get on board, excuse the pun, or not, and say, yes, okay, well, if you're only having a ride for a couple of hours, but I imagine it would be probably a lot more tricky, because you may only go a couple of miles and then they let you off and you're going, well, my next journey is not for 10 days because
yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is because if you take all the vloggers that I know that I've met up with in the past, I don't know, 6 weeks, I've probably met a dozen vloggers in the last 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
But I wouldn't know where any of them are at the moment.
No.
Because you pass them, and as you go and pass and wave, or you're more up on the same stretch of canal, or whatever.
What you guys need is one of these things that you have for the aeroplanes, where you've all got some little tracking device which you could do with your phone. If you've all got mobile phones, and you have this little program only you can see, and you could see where everybody is at any one time. Oh, that's so and so. They're going up the so and so thing. Wouldn't that be amazing? I'd be able to pass him. Oh, I'll get there before they get there. Blimey, they're going to get there and do a video about it. I'm going to get up there and do it quick.
Could
be
might
fun.
Become a war.
Yeah. Yes.
Not if it bothers me in the slightest, because to be honest with you, when I'm going to different places, I actually look at other people's videos to see what they're videoed.
Oh, right. Yes. If it's worth going.
Well, also it gives you some idea of things you might have missed.
Yes, that's true. Hadn't thought of that. So it is a lovely I mean, we found that when Julia and I were on the narrow boats that we did, we found that most people were absolutely fantastic. We just felt, because we were on a hire boat, we weren't really in the club.
Well, you see, I don't care what boat you're on. You can be on, a GRP cruiser or whatever. It makes no difference to me. Hire boats, and actually, I quite often like meeting up with hire boats, because quite often they're actually got some questions they want to ask you, and you can actually make their holiday a lot happier, because you can show them a few things which make their life easier.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think you've got a brilliant attitude, clearly, and of course,
I think that's most motors, actually.
Yes. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, we did because we spoke to people and they said, well, we don't own a boat, but we just regularly hire a boat because it suited how they did things. So they were seasoned boaters, only they just always hired for 2 or 3 times a year, which is obviously an expensive way of doing it, but it might be more convenient than actually having to own a boat and have it in a marina where, you've got to fix it from time to time.
Yeah, people say all boats are so expensive and all that, but to be honest with you, touch wood, besides doing things to my boat that I want to do, because I bought an ex-hire boat, so, I didn't need a 10-berth boat. I've taken all the bunk beds out, and I'm rechanging it into storage areas and an office for me for working and editing videos in, and various different things I'm doing to the boat. But that's the boat I bought because the price was right at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
But as for other things, okay, ever so often you're gonna have to have the boat taken out of the water and blacked and that sort of thing, and you're gonna have to have the engine service or what. I do that. I do that myself. 50 quid to service the engine, you know.
And when you think that, well, I suppose when you compare it to a landlubber, landowner, if they're not, if are you permanently cruising?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't need a car. So you
Nope.
haven't got to worry about MOTing, taxing the car. You don't worry about the servicing a car. You haven't got to pay the council tax, presumably, or you pay.
No council tax because I'm never at one place long enough.
Right. So when you count up all those things, and then the fence blows down in a gale, and you count up all the expenses that any householder would have, it's probably counteract. You know, you're probably paying, you know, just to live in some enclosed space, whether it's on water or fixed to a bit of land, you're probably really just paying the same.
I worked it out. It's about the same as living in a flat, owning a car.
There you go. So although people say it is a money pit, it is just this. I mean, I've got, you know, the roof problem I've got to face, and rewiring the house because I've been here so long that it's probably perished, and one shouldn't have a studio up in the top bedroom, but don't tell anybody. You know, so we all have expenses. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people say it's a money pit. It's either that they're just fearful for you, or they've had a bad experience, or they've read the press. And the press is just full of doom and gloom, isn't it? Otherwise, people wouldn't do it.
Yeah, just listen to the BBC and you wouldn't ever go out of your house, you know.
Well, exactly. You're absolutely right there. Oh, that's.
But that's another story.
Yes,
but you know, the thing that I look at is this is my home, and what I would spend. I've lived in houses all my life. You know, I've owned my houses most of my life, and the expenses I've had in owning my houses certainly are more than living on the boat so far.
Well, there you go. And can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 62, Richard.
62. So, and when did you start? How long ago did you start living on your boat?
It's nearly 2 years ago.
Nearly 2 years. So are you going to stay on this boat? Do you think for forever, or do you think you will come back later on, or just suck it and see?
I would like to stay on it as long as I can.
Yeah, even if you just end up mooring somewhere rather than, you know, because when you're in your 90s, you might not want to open the gates.
The thing being is, though, I look at it this way: as long as I keep moving I don't move about every day. As long as I keep moving regular and I keep everything going, it keeps you fit.
Yes.
You know, I'm not saying I'm overweight and all that, but I do a lot of walking. I do a lot of stuff, you know, like you do for videos.
Yeah.
I walk miles sometimes with video. And what you're saying earlier on about when I go to a town, I do my off the cut videos, and all I use is a GoPro when I do them. But you put it down here and you walk past it and you take it back and you stick it up there and it's up on top of a lamp post or something, you know.
Yeah.
And you're right, you know, a half-hour walk takes 3 hours.
Absolutely. And people don't realise that. And often they say, oh, you know, I'll join you for a walk. And you think, well, actually, I wanted to make a video out of this, and it means I've got to stop, start all the time. And then you find that they go, I won't bother with joining you for a walk next time because I only thought it would be 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean. People just don't realise, you know, just because the video might only be 10 minutes long,
yes,
when you actually edit it out, it's probably a 3-hour walk, probably an hour and a half's worth of filming, and it's 10 minutes when you end up editing it.
Absolutely, but it's, you know, it's great fun. We love doing it, and there's not many occupations, if I can call it that rather than a profession. There's not many occupations that you do and people say nice things about it.
Yeah, and I'm no expert, and I know I'm no expert, and I don't produce perhaps the best videos out there in the world, and I know that, but I enjoy doing it, and that's why I do it.
Absolutely, and I mean, let's face it. I mean, as long as the digital world holds out, these are precious things because you are seeing changes as you go about, as I do, and as everybody who films these things, in the landscape and the heritage, and often these changes aren't for the better, sadly, but we're recording a snapshot of a time that if only there were more of that from say 100 or 200 years ago that we could look at and appreciate. So it is all good stuff. You're doing good work.
Yeah, and the thing being is, I look at it is I wanted to record my journey anyway for me and my family, and because my parents watch every film I put out. They may, my parents are heading up towards 90 now, but they watch every film I put out and love them all. So you just go along with it. It's just something they can watch, and they keep a track of me going along.
And Sean is asking me, he's asking me, does your YouTube, what's your YouTube channel? He's asking, but it's that Trev's Travels by Narrowboat, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, I just use the same when I'm in here. I do have another one, but I always use it when I go around everybody's, because I always smile when you talk to Mark Burgess, because my name is actually Trevor Burgess.
Oh right. Oh okay. Trev's
just to let you know.
Travels by Narrow. Let me just fire it up so that we can see. So just so people can see it. Let's get the main page. Here we go.
I've lost your stream because I'm on the phone, and my phone is my internet.
Yes.
And because I'm sat down with the phone, it's not up near the window now.
No,
I've lost your stream.
Don't worry. I'm just showing your page on the YouTube, so that, the landing page, so people can see and they can go and subscribe to you.
That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Off to Wales. To Wales we go on the Llangollen Canal. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the second one, or the part 2, which is I Grimu Iridian.
That is exactly what it says in Welsh.
Oh, I see.
Well, according to Google anyway, because I use Google Translate to Welsh.
Excellent. That's what we like to see. Brilliant stuff.
Well, it's just a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, why not? Why not? Well, there we go. Do tune in to Trevor. Yes, sorry, Trevor.
What I was going to say, while you're on the phone, if you do ever want to meet up with me, you're more than welcome to stay over.
Oh, that would be fantastic. So
there has to be a put-up bed where the dinette is. But
no, that's good enough for me.
But and there's nothing fancy. It's not the Ritz, but you're all, I know. I don't think you're looking for the Ritz anyway.
No, I'm definitely not looking for the Ritz. I mean, and also if the van's nearby, I can always stay in the van. That's the beauty of it. But it'd be lovely to stay on board, of course.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. So I would have other people staying. It's not a problem.
And Market Drayton, was I right? That's up in Shropshire, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Shropshire or Cheshire.
Oh right, okay. It's in that neck.
It's on the Shropshire Canal. I can't remember. I did actually Google it earlier on. I can't remember where it was.
Oh right, yeah.
I must admit, because this is basically on the 4 counties ring now, aren't I? And it's and you go through all the different counties up here. They're all so close together. I'm never quite sure when they change. When you change from one to the next.
Market Drayton is a market town on the electoral ward in the north of Shropshire.
It is Shropshire,
yeah,
is it?
That's
right.
just as a...
I didn't know where... I know when I was on the canal earlier today, I did go into Cheshire for a while.
Oh, right, yeah, because, it winds along, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to... So I'm just looking to see if we can find... Oh, there's the canal, the Shropshire Union Canal main line. And it cuts across the A53. There's a Morrison's there.
There is, and there's an Aldi which I walked to today.
Fantastic. Trevor, it's been brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much for ringing and letting us know about the little scheme. I'm going to have to think about that. I think for next year, I need to do something a bit wacky, and that sort of thing would be great fun. Whether it would work or not, I don't know, but it would be great fun.
Yeah, we could always work out a canal that's where there's a winding hole where I can turn around and come back to and wind. So, if you bring your van up, we can get back to it.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Fantastic. Well, look after yourself, and thanks for calling in.
Okay, Richard.
You take care.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we are. That was Trev from Trev's Travels by Narrowboat. Bless him for ringing in and telling us. Wasn't that fascinating? That really was fascinating. Oh, yeah, there we go. Up to 10 feet, he said, can be called a tender. How wonderful that is. No trees. That's totally different channel. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. 2 Trevs on the Vobe show, says Dave Ivad. How brilliant. Colonel Cragratty says 2 men in a boat. That would be good. Yes. He could tow the van by. Could he tow the van? The van could probably tow the boat, to be honest with you, although it wouldn't be allowed on the canal path. We're coming up to 9 o'clock. We'll start playing the videos that we've got in a moment. Sean says that was a lovely call from Trevor. Michael White says you will have a better kind of lockdown. That would be great fun. And lots of people saying thanks, Trev, for the call. Isn't that nice? It's so fascinating when people ring in new people that we haven't had. 2 Trevs on the show. We should call it, it's Mondays is Trev night. So there we are. How about that? Marvellous stuff. Right. We've had an interesting hour. It's going to be just as interesting because we have videos from Mark Burgess. We have Sean James Cameron in Scadbury Park and Bernie with the secrets of his Zoom. But let's go. Mark has sent me several of these videos. I'm only going to play 2 in tonight's show, if that's all right. These are down on the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch, and it does look like Mark has nipped into the hedge to film the passing trains, but he does give us a very nice little commentary at the same time. So let's go into the video box and have a look and see what Mark has got in store for us. And I press the button, and for some reason, I don't know why it didn't come up. I will press this button this way. Good. We're now in the video box. So, Mark, I've taken these pretty much at random because being trains and me not being very knowledgeable about trains, I have no idea really which one was a better one or not. So, apologies for that, but I've selected 2 of them. So let's see the first.
Here comes number 11, Black Prince. Well, that was a special non-stop train because Black Prince has been away up in Cumbria having some work done that's been long overdue, and she's finally back with us here in Kent. This is a slightly different location to take picture. More people's back gardens. More foliage. Cross over the back there's some juniper berries, which I might go and harvest a few of to flavour some spirits for Christmas. That should be interesting. Few dog walkers about today. Yeah, so that's 4th train of the day.
Marvellous stuff. Thank you so much, Mark. We enjoyed that. We've got another one to play in a little bit later. We'll play that last in the show. But yeah, lovely to see those trains, steam trains, chuffing by. And as Rachel T.S. says, I love trains. And Edward says, wonderful sound over the rails. Yes, it's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful to hear that? I miss the slam doors. Even from where I am, I'm not too far from the station down in Worthing, where I live. And if the wind is right, you'll hear the tannoy. But sometimes if you're in the back garden, you could even hear the old slam doors, but I haven't heard the slam doors for a long, long time, in actual fact. Michael White says, I'm already loco, so I have a lot in common with trains. And Station Master's Choice says, I have driven diesel number 14 on the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway. An interesting experience. Oh, how exciting. I did record a podcast down there with my friend Paul Stoneman, otherwise known as Strider Paul. I haven't spoken to him for years now. He lives in Portugal. He used to be a train driver on the main lines, and he left, retired early and went to live in Portugal. Lucky fella. He used to live in Bognor. Station Master says most preserved railways use XBR MK slam door stock. Do they? I'm pleased to hear it. And Sean says, Jesus loves you. Normally a nice thing to hear when someone say a horrific thing to hear in a Mexican prison. I won't ask why. I have a suspicion that that's probably not a good thing. So there we are. And are you near Dymchurch? Asks the Station Master's Choice. So there we go. Anyway, we've got another train coming up. So that's good. In the meantime, we have a trip to Scadbury Park. So I'm going to go over to Sean James Cameron at Scadbury Park, part of the London Loop, which we've been enjoying watching, which is great. And we'll catch up with Sean and find out what he's up to now.
I found this seat and the book said, look for the number 13. I thought, right, well, where do you look for number 13? I just happened to look across and there is a post with number 13 on. So that means that if I continue up here, I then have to turn left off this path onto another path, and apparently it's just after that number 13. So I've just come out to look at this very interesting tree that they said, and there's no sign. So I was going to go to the right, but I just met two of the locals and they said I need to go to the left. And then I met this person.
Hi.
Who's also doing the loop, but she's got the TfL one. So I think we're going to go this way. I know I'm on the right way because I've just found a London Loop sign pointing to the Moated Manor. So let's see, it's very busy around these parts, I must say.
What's the point of this house?
So this is the moat with a green. This is the manor house with a green lake. You can see the chimney and the fireplace. So then you started the loop yesterday.
I did start it yesterday, yes.
So you did part one yesterday and part two.
Part two today.
Are you going to do one every day?
On the days that I can't do every day because I've got other things on, but yeah. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to do it at the weekends because it's too busy and it's too full of dogs and I can't bear it.
So there is the moat. And there's been slight confusion, but we're going to go this way. Well, the walk through there took quite a while. Quite a few people out today. And this is a vast oak tree beside some steps. So I've finally come out of the woods, and that London Loop sign there is pointing me to the left. And I have to say, I'm really pleased to be on the last page of this section. I do like doing this walk. It's just I'm at that point now where my legs are sweaty, my head is sweaty, my back is okay, but it's my legs. I really need to sit down, but I'm slightly concerned now that if I sit down I might not be able to get back up again. Well, it's a pleasure to see the road, I must say. So let's have a look now. We've got to turn across this bit of green. I'm hoping it's as simple as going across the road. So we are now going from one wood into the next wood, and the next wood is Petswood, which is at the end of my walk for today. I just found this loop sign just leaning against a tree, but that's no use to anybody, so I'm going to just prop it up there so that at least it's pointing in the right direction and people can see it. There are so many little paths that go off all over the place. You start doubting yourself that you're on the right track. So this little section here is Chislehurst Common. One day I'll take you to Chislehurst Caves, because underneath this area there's a cave system that goes on for miles and miles and miles, and during the war it was used as shelters. So where Chislehurst Common is down there and Pettswood is to my left, which is where we'll be going in a moment. Pettswood is also part of the National Trust apparently. I'm going to have another cup of tea.
Looks like the dog had come up to have another cup of tea with you there, Sean. I don't blame you. On those hot days, it's bad enough just walking and, keeping going, let alone trying to be coherent and film something at the same time. So I know exactly what you're like. When we went out and filmed the Ditchling Walk for I nearly said the Sussex Border Walk, for the Bald Explorer group walk, at the end of it, we couldn't even sit in the van because it was so hot. And of course, my van is a black van, so it does attract a lot of heat. But you can, if you get the van in the right place and get a through draft, it's actually quite pleasant in there, funnily enough. But we'd backed it up by a hedge on two sides, so there wasn't very much chance of a through draft. We'd taken with us a picnic with the cool box. Was able to actually utilise a lot of the stuff that I've bought, the two chairs, the cool box, the collapsible table, and we all had a nice little picnic in the shade. And Richard found this wonderful shady bit, which was about 50 yards from the van. So we carried the stuff out and we were sitting there lording it up, having a nice cool drink, which we'd kept cool. And we also took with us the stove and the kettle, and we were able to cook up tea and make up some sandwiches, and we had a bit of melon and various things. And it was lovely, and it was just so nice. I just think it's absolutely brilliant to be able to do that. Now, of course, you can do that with a car. You can have all those things in a car, but I don't know, there's something rather magical about having it all stored away, readily available, just in case you need it, in the van. And I'm thoroughly enjoying my van, having now converted it. I went out filming, when was it? It was at the end of last week, I think, Friday, which is going to come up the next part of the Sussex Border Walk, although I'm changing the name because I'm not really walking in the same way that I was before. Before, on the Sussex Border Walk, it was very easy because the border was effectively the sea. As I came across from Worthing Pier, the border was always on my left-hand side, which it's always going to be, because I'm going clockwise around the county of Sussex. So it's always on the left, but it was so obvious where it was. And because it's on the coast, there were town after town, an interesting place to go and look at, and the history and all of that. But as you start to make your way northwards and you start going around, I started to realise that the delineation of where the border is not immediately obvious. You can see it on a map, and it's 1 minute it's on this side of the road, then it's there, it's through a field and all of this, and it's very hard to map it out. And I realised that actually the interesting part is more the borderland. It's those things it's not specifically walking on the border, or even the Sussex border path, which is there. It's more about what is it like being on the border. 1 minute you're in Hampshire and then you're back in Sussex, or you're in Surrey and then back in Sussex, or Kent and back in Sussex. So my meanderings, I think, will be more in the van, stopping and starting and going off. And I want to incorporate the van as part of a character in this. So I can hardly call it the Sussex Border Walk. So I'm still trying to work out what I will call it, whether it's Borderlands or Exploring the Border or the Sussex Border Explored. Something snappy is what I would like, but I haven't quite got it in my head yet. But that's that's the kind of idea. So I filmed one on Friday, and I'm hoping to film another one this week so that they can be consecutive and go out. I've yet to work out the length, but ultimately I do want on these things to sort of find somewhere to shove the van, stay overnight, and all of that. That would be the plan. Ron Langley has turned up. He says, evening all. Sorry I'm late. Just driven back from Eastbourne to Aldwick, the scenic route along the coast road, the very road that I've just been explaining about, which is very nice. Anyway, thank you very much, Sean, for the London Loop video there. We very much look forward to the next one. If you haven't sent in a video and would like to, don't feel that it has to be anything special. We can have very simple videos like we saw with Mark, just pointing at something of interest, obviously, not just the sky. So it breaks up this show, and it's a way of you sharing some stuff. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. You don't have to be a marvellous editor. You only need perhaps your phone. And as long as you film it horizontally as opposed to vertically, it's lovely to get your videos and share them in. And of course, it's nice to see somebody else's content. So if you do send it to me. richard@vobes.com is the email address, but send it via the service of WeTransfer, which is www.wetransfer, all one word, .com, and then it will come to me. It saves clogging up my email and having it rejected. But the details of doing that are in the description on the YouTube channel for this show. Nigel Sadler says the more original pre-1970s Sussex border uses more natural landmarks and features big trees, hedges and streams. And Nigel, I have to say, very kindly sent me a early OS map from probably the 1890s or the 1910, whenever it was. And he's given me the whole border. And I have been trying to look at that as my guide, as well as a modern day OS map to see where to drive and what to do. So I think my next outing will take me to Rowlands Castle, which will be interesting. I think Rowlands Castle is in Hampshire, but the border sort of just goes through or on the side of. And I dare say it's changed and wiggled about a bit over the years. Call it walking on the edge of Sussex. Oh, that's it. Yes, exploring the edge of Sussex. Because I won't necessarily be walking. I'll be walking in all the shots, but I do go back to my van and make cups of tea. I want to keep the van in it because it's another niche that people search, you know, van life and all of that. It gets people thinking, oh, that's interesting. So one's got to capitalise on all these different niches that this will do. The Easter border follows the Kent Water in a long, sinuous stream. Oh, right, so that'd be nice and interesting. Get my coracle on that, maybe, although my coracle needs a hell of a lot of work to get it back up to floating ability. So there we go. And what else have we got? That's 32 polecat on the lawn today, says Dave Ivad. I'm not sure what he means by that. 32 degrees centigrade on my bus today, says Sean Buttimer. Sweaty and gritty. Yeah, the Sussex Border Tour, perhaps, says Mark Burgess. And Alex Braid says, long time since I've been on the live show. Really enjoyed the Wiltshire videos. Thank you so much, Alex. That's very kind of you. And it's lovely to see you out there. So there we go. Sorry if I've missed any of your comments. If you put at the Vobes Show as one word, it lights up in orange on my screen, which makes it easier to see if you're addressing a comment to me at the Vobes Show, and it lights it up in the chat, just so you know. Right, so we have seen one of Mark's lovely videos. We've seen Sean James Cameron on Scudbury Park, which was fascinating. And of course, we've been watching Bernie for a long time, haven't we? And all his amazing adventures as he's gone around exploring all sorts of stuff. And the one thing that we seem to take away is this massive Zoom that he must carry about in his pocket. He's probably got a big rucksack and goes to all those exciting Hello. I've noticed that with the stream has... I beg your pardon. We had a dodgy connection then. We're back. I think we're back. I just noticed a little hiccup there, so I hope we're all right. So as I was saying, yeah, I'm convinced it's a drone that flies off the camera and in a straight line somehow. Not quite sure how that works. But we do have in the video box The Secret. Lord Jeffrey says everything's all right now. Thank goodness for that. It froze then for a few seconds. Apologies for that. No problems in London. It's probably has a big buffering. Yes, it's because we're going to reveal Bernie's secret. He's very kindly sent in the revealing thing. Trev's Travel says, back okay. Brilliant stuff. Right, here we go then. Let's find out the secret of Bernie's Zoom.
I have been requested, nay, and thrice nay, commanded by the great Vobes to reveal the secrets of the Station Master's Zoom. And in truth, there are no secrets. What you're looking at is a standard Canon HD video camera, the Legria HFR 806, which cost me about £225 as I remember. It's got a 32 times optical zoom, enhanced to 57 times. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that means anything over 32 times is liable to pixelate if you don't get it exactly right. And the number of times it does it to me, I obviously don't get exactly right, but that's my fault. I perhaps need to read up a bit more. You'll notice as the video goes through the grey ring, which I will put a pointer to, how it disappears and then returns again as you change from wide angle to telephoto lens, and it all takes place within the tube of the camera, and I think that makes a difference, and I think that's why the zoom appears much better than it is. My bridge camera that I'm filming this with has a 40 times digital zoom, but it's one of those where the framework, it comes out of the camera and puts the lens forward with the click 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 noise because their processors are not good enough. That's what I tend to use this one for everything. So that's about it. There you have it. It's just an ordinary video camera as far as I'm concerned, but I am pleased with the results you get. I did put some writing up on here for the original version where you see all that crap about 32 times enhanced. Forget that, forget that. I've redone the soundtrack, so, and I can't get rid of the writing, so you'll have to bear with that. And that's about it, I suppose, really. Nothing extra special about the Station Master Zoom. It's what I use. I don't use a gimbal. I don't think I want to be honest. I'm a warts and all man, and if I wobble, then the picture's going to wobble as well, and you'll just to imagine that you'll have walking along with me and wobbling too. Part of the fun, isn't it, really? So anyway, Richard, that's the secret revealed. Now you can sleep properly at night, can't you? Bye for now.
And it is amazing. Thank you so much, Bernie. It is amazing. It is amazing how these small, lower budget cameras can do such a wonderful zoom. I mean, this is what foxed me, because I suppose I should have brought out a camera to demonstrate. Maybe I can in a moment. To demonstrate what I do. Well, I'll do that. I'll demonstrate what I have to do, just so that people can see the difference of what I do and what Bernie does. But I am amazed at these cameras, these little cameras that are handheld and do a perfectly good job, and you can zoom in for what, with the digital enhanced 57 times or whatever it was, just seems absolutely outstanding. Okay, the quality may diminish a bit as you zoom in, of course, but it's fascinating that you can do that as you did to determine what was just a grey smear, and then as you zoom in, you get at least enough detail to go, oh, that's a conning tower on a submarine, and they're aiming their missiles at us. So that's a bit scary. David Vad says, Bernie, don't reveal your secrets. Bit late now. I really appreciate that you went to the effort of making that video, Bernie. It's very interesting. James Cameron says, I had one of those cameras, but it's best not to use the digital zoom as it pixelates. And I'm sure if you use it to its extreme, that's probably true. And of course, Bernie only uses it when it's absolutely necessary. So there we go. A bit saucy Audrey, because Audrey says, we love your zoom, Bernie. We certainly do. Get your mind out of the gutter, Dave, she says. And Colonel Cragratty says, my videos wobble sometimes, and I'm usually 60 feet up a rock face, trying not to come off it. Yeah, I think that's a legitimate reason and for allowing you to have slightly wobbly footage, even if it is filmed on a GoPro. We have one more video to go before we disappear, and this is back on the railway on the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch with Mark Burgess. And I forget what the train is. I picked them two of them out. It's another passing train with Mark giving us the commentary. So let's have a look at that, and then I'll show you one of the things that I have to do when I get my zoom out. I'm sure you all want to have a look at my big zoom, don't you? Here we go. Mark, take it away.
Here we go. Here's another one. Wonder which one this one is. Oh. Well, that one was number 2 Northern Chief at the front of that train, built in 1926 if I remember right. It's a Pacific locomotive, similar to the old Flying Scotsman in some respects. Yeah, so that's the third train of the day so far. These lucky people have got the railway running at the bottom of their gardens, which I used to have when I first moved to Kent, but then parents decided to move house, and the railway wasn't at the bottom of the subsequent house, so missed out on that, but never mind. Taking these pictures from a good vantage point. It's the side of the Dymchurch recreation ground. Lots of different trees. Buffer stop.
Nice buffers at the end there. I assume that was a buffer. Was it that little red and white pole thing that goes across? Is that a buffer to stop the train from going into the hedge? Lovely. Thank you so much, Mark. Very nice to see those trains. And it's great to hear the trundling going along and the whistle of it. It's all so atmospheric, isn't it, with the steam trains? You don't seem to get that with the modern trains that we have these days. Now, before we go, just got a few minutes to show you the struggles that somebody like myself who makes YouTube videos uses. So I've got, this is one of the cameras that I've got. This is a Canon 90D. It's a very nice camera. I think they're quite pricey. But they're still, you can still buy them. You could probably buy some secondhand. And it's a beautiful picture. This is a beautiful camera. The results are absolutely fantastic. its downside is it doesn't have very much stabilization. The only stabilization you get is depending on the lens, and really it stabilizes for stills rather than video. Although I have used it to do, and if you're holding it and you're just doing a very still frame shot, a live shot, you know, a bit of scenery or something, and you can just about do that, and then the lens will hold it. But as soon as you start using this for anything, for vlogging and talking and moving about or anything like that, it's these days, with all the stabilization that comes in modern mobile phones, things like GoPros and some of the other cameras, it's very hard for everybody to accept wobbly vision, because we rarely see it now. It used to be vlogs were all wobbly vision, and it was, you just accepted it. But now wobbly vision is what turns people off from watching people's videos. They find it difficult to watch unless the content is really, really good. And so people are going in for stabilization. However, so that's why I've had to buy other cameras that sort of have a bit more stabilization in them. It's because I'm very often filming on the fly very quickly and getting all these shots that I want. It's great if you've got time to put a tripod in, and often I do, but so this is more of a camera I now use in the studio when I'm doing things like my story and that sort of thing, or when I'm doing my living at home videos and those sort of things. However, when I was out and about and you wanted to zoom in, it's got a wide angle lens on at the moment. It's a little short little lens, sort of wide angle. I hope you can see it clearly. But if I want to put a zoom on, I have to put this on. Now this isn't anything like the capacity that Bernie's has. This is from 55mm, which may mean nothing to most people. So it's a little bit zoomed in than what the normal eye sees, and it goes up to 250. So it gives you a bit of a range, but not much of a range. You have to take off this cap. You take the lens off, pull the lens off the camera. You put that lens on, clicks into place like that, and you've got a bit of a zoom, and it'll zoom out like that, and you've got that very nice extension. Thank you very much, and that'll take you a little bit, but nothing like the zoom that Bernie's just seems to go on and on and on and on, which is incredible. So that's what I have to do there. I was very generously given another zoom lens. This one only goes up to 300, but so it gives me a little bit more zoom. This was given to me by G-Ramps. I don't think he's out there. If he is, he hasn't signed in, or I haven't seen him. But he was very generous by offering me this zoom-in lens. But this is very heavy. This is a very heavy Canon lens which fits on the camera. And same thing, take this one off, undo the protector at the bottom, line up the dots, clicks in, and again you can zoom in, and that will give me a little bit more than this one, which is quite lightweight. And that will give me more. So if I'm on a tripod, this is great, but you wouldn't want to be carrying this. And I don't think there's any stabilization. Oh, there is a bit of stabilization in there. So again, for stills, it's okay. But for video, it's going to amplify the shaking, which is quite tricky. So it's great that one can have such a portable little camera with a zoom that just goes on and on and on. Anyway, that's what I have to do. So yes, on one side, obviously the quality is far superior with these big lenses. One would bloody hope so, because they can be £1,000 or more just for the lens. Whereas Bernie, as he said, he paid 225 quid for the camera, including the lens. Well, you're going to get more superior quality pictures, of course, because you've got this quality glass which is doing a lot more work. But it is swings and roundabouts, because ultimately when I make my videos, most people are watching them on a phone or a tablet. some people will be watching the longer format ones on their tellies. So it's difficult to know. The short format ones, easy to watch on your phone whilst you have a cup of coffee, and it always looks nice on the phone because the screen is so squished, as it were, get all the pixels on the phone. It always looks lovely. When you blow it up onto a big telly, unless it's a really good telly that has some sort of electronic brain and also does a lot of magic, it can look more pixelated, because I only film in 1080 and not in 4K, because 4K the file sizes are too big. It just, it's like you need a faster computer and everything. Anyway, that's that. Let's have a quick look at the comments, and then I will say goodnight. We've got love the old steam trains. Never been on one, says Alex Braid. Never been on one. Gosh, you must get on one. Mark Burgess says yes, he had a packed lunch. Joanna Jones, great video. Lovely old steam train. Mark says he's grown up with them. Dave says lovely atmosphere. Ron Langley says, do the school kids use the trains? That's a good question. Joanna Jones says, lucky, Mark, they're growing up with them. Woody Jenny, hello to you. Very cool, she says. Station Master's Choice says, I guess my Zoom was made by Ariston then, because it goes on and on and on. Alex Braid says, I need a decent camera. I just can't afford it, but it would be nice to have one. On the second-hand market is probably a good place to get some of these cameras, because cameras that were made 2-3 years ago, the prices are quite low, and what we were using 2 or 3 years ago are remarkable. The quality, I mean, it's so hard now to improve that quality. And yes, of course, you've got different speeds of film rates and all the rest of it, but you don't need to buy one that's just come out. Get one from a couple of years ago, and especially if it's the first-time camera on the second-hand market, and you'll be surprised at the quality that comes with it. I'm watching this show on the big television. Yes, and this only goes out at 720p, so I know, God knows what the quality is like on this. It does come out of a nice camera. It's my ex-corporate camera that I used to use, but that's out of date. I think that camera I bought in 2018. Yeah, 2018 I bought that camera. Prior to that, I bought a camera which I bought in 2008. I had it for 10 years. Beautiful thing. The Sony EX1. Beautiful camera. But only 720. David K says, all your videos look fab on my TV at 42 inch, says David Keel. Thank you. It's only HD. And Dave Vad says, that's it. Bad sound is more of a turn-off. Yes. I do try to get the best sound, although recently I have been using the onboard... not the onboard camera microphone, but a microphone mounted on there. And as long as you're this sort of distance, it's all right. Any further, and it sounds a bit hollow. But anyway, this isn't a technical show. Thank you very much. Julia says, great show, Richard. Thanks, I couldn't be there. Yes, it is a great shame. We desperately miss the lovely Julia, but we hope that we'll see her either on Wednesday or Friday this week. But I hope you've enjoyed the show. Bit different today without the lovely Julia, but thanks to all the contributions. Thanks to my two Trevs who rang in, which was absolutely brilliant. To Mark Burgess, to Sean James Cameron, and to Bernie for the video contributions, which was greatly welcomed. And to you lot for putting all your comments. And to Julia and Judith, I beg your pardon, Julia. To Julia and Judith for moderating and making sure the show went well. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the likes and all of that. Until next time, look after yourself, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, I pressed the button and nothing happened. So that happens a lot here. Till next time. Oh, hang on. I better do a thumbnail. Hang on. I'll pose with the camera. There we go. That'll be a bit silly, won't it? Anyway, till next time. Bye for now.